pleasure to be connected with you today. Where are you dialing in from? Beautiful Florida?
I am in sunny Florida. I cannot complain, although it was like 102 yesterday, I think, and I was like, whoa, with humidity.
With humidity. In 10 days from now, you're going to be in Las Vegas, which is going to be even more humid. How long has that been in the works for, this August 21st appearance of Damandyz?
So we kind of started like the concept of doing like donut pop-up shops. We've been working on it for about a year, but we launched our first one like a month and a half ago in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And we kind of just set it up as like a one-day event. We donated all proceeds to an LGBTQ charity because it was during Pride Month. Mm-hmm. And we were like, let's just see how the people like the product and like the donuts. And we worked with a really talented donut chef in Los Angeles. He owns We Bakery. Mm-hmm. And Mandy made a donut and I made a donut, and we kind of competed to see whose donut would be the best. And I feel like the fans had so much fun with it because they came and they got one of each, of course, because they had to be the judges. And so we made a little competition out of it, donated to a great cause, and it was a super fun event. So we were like, okay, this seems like a concept that we can scale. And so now we're doing one in Las Vegas, mm-hmm. Obviously around SummerSlam. So it's super exciting.
When I think of you, donuts are not one of the first 5 to 10 things that I think about, but lifelong donut fan?
Yes. Well, I grew up in the Northeast, so I'm just a foodie in general. I love anything carbohydrates, really. Pizza, donuts, pasta, raviolis, cheesesteaks, being from right outside of Philly, right in Jersey, South Jersey. So yeah, just a lifelong food fan, and donuts are definitely one of my favorites.
My wife is originally from the Jersey Shore area, and she always talks about the specialness, if that's the word, specialness, speciality, specialty, whatever it is, about yes. Jersey tomatoes. Is that a thing? Or are you making this up?
Oh my God, Jersey tomatoes and Jersey corn. So yeah, and it's seasonal. So you have to get tomatoes when they're in season in Jersey. Yeah. Oh, nothing is better than tomato salad. So it's olive oil, like salt, pepper, garlic, and like mix it up in a bowl, maybe a little bit of balsamic, and then you put it on like a fresh like hoagie roll. It sounds really weird now that I'm explaining out loud tomatoes on like a sandwich, but it's the best thing ever. Or dip the bread in the tomato salad juice. Oh my God.
Have you always been a cook and or a foodie, or is that a thing that developed once you started touring the world?
Yeah, since I was younger, I was always kind of, I was a like really funny, like makeshift chef. Like I would take like random ingredients in my house and somehow figure out a way to make like something edible. Like if there's just like random things, I would just like mix it all together and make something crazy. And so I always loved cooking. I grew up in an Italian family, so I always knew how to make like homemade gravy, meatballs, lasagna, raviolis, all that good stuff. So yeah, and then when I moved out on my own when I was 17, I cooked for myself. So yeah, I've always loved food, always loved to cook. But I also love like the dining experience. So I love eating out, and I love going out to eat as well.
I feel the need to ask that because when you think of wrestlers who are in excellent shape, you think of eating tons of grilled chicken, grilled fish, and then maybe one day a week they kind of eat what they want. Are you a cheat day kind of person like that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I believe that everything's all about balance, and that's what Damandyz is all about. It's all about balance. And that's why we put protein in our donuts. Our donuts in Los Angeles had like 9.5 to 11.5 grams of protein in each donut. And we try to make them somewhat health conscious because life's about balance. And I don't believe in restricting yourself fully and totally from any one thing. It's about moderation. And so it's the same thing with our donuts. So I eat pretty clean. I have like eggs during the week. I'll have salmon, I'll have chicken, I'll have ground turkey, but I'll put like a little low fat mozzarella cheese on it or whatever. And then yeah, I definitely have my cheat days, and I have protein pancakes in the morning sometimes. So a little bit of moderation in everything.
Any endorsements that you want to plug as part of that to make sure that the free meals still come in the mail?
Yeah, no, we don't really do any of that anymore. I kind of make a lot of my own stuff when I'm home. And when we're on the road, it's like Chipotle or any kind of somewhat clean eating that we can find when you're on the road,
Makes sense. So speaking of the road, you may not think about this about yourself per se, but you've been on worldwide TV for almost a decade now. That's a lot of time to be on TV. Are you at this point in your career like satisfied that you've accomplished everything that you've wanted to, or is there's just, this is the beginning and there's just so much more?
Yeah, I mean, I've only been with WWE for 6 years, and I've only been on television for 4. So I definitely consider myself
6 rounds up to 10.
Right.
And tough enough. So there you go.
Right. Yeah. So 4 or 5 years on TV for sure.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like I just scratched the surface. I haven't even really gotten started. I started with this company when I was 21. I'm 27 now, and I plan on being here for as long as they'll allow me to be. I want to do so much more. And eventually get back in the ring and win the SmackDown Women's Championship one day. So
that makes sense. Do you have more of a role with the company than just being an on-screen performer that we get to see on the road and on television?
No, I've been with the company for like 6 years. I've had this amazing opportunity to be a WWE official for like the last year. So I make the matches, and I coordinate the locker room and all that stuff. And I've gotten to learn a lot about a lot of the competitors on the roster over the last year, which has been a super cool kind of bonus to the gig. But yeah.
Where I was going with that is, with a big company like that, we don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes. We don't know if there's committees and there's different people are active with, say, the Special Olympics or that kind of a thing, because you've been very vocal about wonderful things. So I didn't know if you want to talk about an extra role or something besides being a beloved character on screen sometimes.
Yeah, no, we do a lot of work with community relations. I've been working closely with the community relations team since Tough Enough. We've done amazing events with the LGBTQ community, partnering with GLAAD. We did the Spirit Day Lounge a few years ago at Comic-Con in New York City. We've done the GLAAD Pride float in the New York World Pride a few years back. Most recently, we partnered with GLAAD and did the GLAAD Pride boxes that they give to LGBTQ influencers around the world, which are super cool because we had the Sonya Deville Urban Aztec design shirt in there this year, which was super special. Yeah, we do a lot of things with the LGBTQ community. Also, I do a lot of anti-bullying stuff with like Be a Star campaign. It's probably one of my favorite companies to work with organizations, I should say. But also Girl Up. And I have a Girl Up Summit coming up in Las Vegas, I think next Wednesday, where we speak about equality in sports for women, gender equality for women in sports. And we speak with a lot of youth in that company and really learning from them how we can directly impact and make a change in sport with our platform.
Got it. Well, going back to something you said, being signed by WWE in your early 20s, how much of the success you've had was planned out, mapped out, storyboards, the gift, all that kind of stuff, versus just organically being in the right place at the right time after working hard?
Prior to WWE or in WWE?
In general, looking at what you're up to right now, everybody knows that once you get signed to WWE, that's not the end of the rainbow. That's the beginning of the journey, because you're going to be working hard and doing great things. So in your case, was your success a bunch of to-do lists that you checked off, or is there, hard work, hustle, and then organically it all happened?
A lot of hustle and a lot of passion, but also a lot of thought into it as well. When I moved out of the house when I was 17, and I was not going home until I was successful. It was in me since I was a kid. I mean, I got my first job when I was 12 years old, and nobody would hire me because they're like, you're 12, you can't work yet. And then I eventually got hired at like a local, like 5 and 10 thrift store. They let me work the counter, and I like sold like spools of yarn. And like I've been a hustler and a worker since I was like born. It's just in me. And I always wanted to do something larger than life, and I always wanted to do something important and something that I felt like I had a purpose in. And I didn't like school, and I didn't see myself going to 4 years at a university or anything like that. But I wanted to fight, and I wanted to be a performer. And so I moved out when I was 17, and I hopped around from Florida to New York City to LA on my own, and just trying to make it, and bartending and hosting podcasts, and fighting MMA full time, and just doing whatever I could to put myself around the right people, and learn and acquire the right traits that I needed to get where I wanted to go. And WWE kind of organically fell into the mix when my friend Maria called me, and she was like, "Do you ever think about doing WWE?" Because they had originally asked her to do Tough Enough, and she was like, "Oh, no, but I have the perfect girl." And so she called me, and she actually thought at the time that I was going to say no, because she thought that I was so like gung-ho on MMA. But I always had like a mind for opportunity, and I always was open-minded. I had a very specific vision of what I wanted to do, but I also knew how to trust the universe and trust the energy around me. And so I kind of took advantage of the opportunity, and I thought it was just going to be a tryout. 11,000 people tried out. Never thought I was going to get on the show. Yeah. But I worked my ass off, and I got there. And the last 6 years has been the greatest. I mean, I've been living the dream. It's kind of like the perfect culmination of all the things I wanted to do, and I didn't even know this world existed. It's the performing, it's the fighting, all rolled into one. So yeah, it's like a dream job.
Going back to the donuts and food in general, is the nutritional line of your own an eventual kind of plan your own food mini empire?
Yeah, like me and Mandy see Damandyz Donuts as a fun representative brand of who we are, right? It's fun, it's lighthearted, everybody can enjoy a donut, but also adding that health food aspect to it, and it being all about balance and all about moderation. Anybody can enjoy one, and we want to appeal to everybody, because we know that our fans and are from all different worlds. Some people are from the fitness world, some people are from the martial arts world, some people, everyone's from kind of like a different background. So we kind of just want to do something fun that everybody can enjoy. Just like when we did our YouTube series, Damandyz Donuts, everyone just loved it because it was just lighthearted and it was fun. And so we find a lot of purpose in that. And yeah, we hope that one day it can absolutely be a global empire, and whatever direction we end up going with the company. But we're having a lot of fun doing the pop-ups right now.
Fingers crossed for you. Well, 3 quick questions and then you're free. And the first one is, you say your first name differently, but did the MTV show Daria make your childhood harder or easier?
Well, it caused everyone to mispronounce my name. So I'm going to say more difficult. Everyone that meets me immediately says Daria. And I'm like, oh, it's Daria. But yeah, that show definitely was the main cause of that.
Next question. Music. Is it important to you? And what do you listen to by choice when you can?
Yes. Music is everything. When I'm in a bad mood, when I'm in a good mood, when I'm bored on the plane, when I'm busy doing work, I like to multitask and have music playing. NF, he's a rapper out of Michigan. I'm obsessed with him. Super like intelligent and deep lyrics, but he doesn't like curse or use a ton of profanity, which I think is really like just difficult, and he does a really great job at it. Also, I was a big Juice WRLD fan. Who else? Post Malone, a huge Post Malone fan. Those are probably my top 3 right now.
Cool. And then the last question for you. Besides WWE programming, what's a TV show recommendation you could pass along to someone who needs a new show to start?
Ooh, Lucifer is my favorite show on television right now. I think it's on like season 6 or something like that. It's on Netflix. It's kind of science fiction, but set in really realistic world, and it's really cool, really well done, really great acting. Definitely my favorite show right now.
Paltrocast.